sounding off. Yeah, we should be underway any moment, and we are underway.
Alright, let's go. Alright, so for the opening section, pretty straightforward. You'll just see them charging through, just trying to get to the first boss as quick as they can. And there'll be a few enemies that they'll run into. They may opt to kill more enemies than some others. All depends. One of the main ones being the black-suited guards have a potential drop to give them a pipe ball or the very rare super monster milk, which, if they can obtain that at this point of the run, it will enable them to cycle their first opening boss, who is relatively heavy on the RNG at times. So definitely a useful tool to get if RNG is on their side.
Yeah, Nori picking up a meat chunk there, which is depends if you get other pipe. Well, he gets slowed down as well. He accidentally hits one of the walls and has to get his charge up again. Yeah, that meat chunk could save a couple seconds for him later on in the run. Both players just working their way through now. Nori's slightly behind because of that slight mishap, but only a few seconds, and all that can change just on Ammo Baron alone.
Yeah, and there's also plenty of points in the run where RNG can favour one runner to another, but there's several instances of small sections like that, so some RNG may favour one person, but the other RNG may favour the other, so this could be back and forth.
Yes, other than that meat chunk clip, both runners coming up blank in the opening section. CakeSauc3 with 25 gems compared to Nori's 15, so Cake's in a slightly better position. Both players having a decent Ammo Baron so far. Cake getting no charge in the first two phases, and neither does Nori.
No, it's both be very happy with that. The Ammo Baron could also charge at the opener. If he does, he can do that up to 4 times in that particular phase before he goes into his cannon shots. So that's the one main attack you don't want to see, because once you see a cannonball being fired out, you know that the red cannonball will fire out before he even considers a charge phase. So not bad Ammo Barons to open up the runs for both runners. So I think that's brought them pretty close together as well as after that mishap. So far so good.
Yeah, they're still only a few seconds apart. After that, seeing a very similar RNG there. Now, after assaulting the mayor and getting a court summons, which Shantae appears to be extremely happy with, she decides to go take a soak in the tub.
Wait, does she have a bathtub?
It's there, you can see it.
Ah.
She must
but
do.
It's not hers. But it's not hers. I mean, I don't think she has one with a booby trap inside.
No, probably not, but yeah, Risky Boots installed it whilst we were out and about, and yeah, accuses us of stealing all her pirate gear and all her Tinkerbats. One of those is more true than the other. But yeah, as we're now fighting off against the only Cacklebat we will kill in the run, and Cake getting that down very quickly.
Nice. I mean, there's about 20 of them actually in this game, but being any percent, that's the only mandatory one. You'll see a few more around and about, which they'll just pretty much just say hello and then run the hell away from them, but they're there for the true ending of this game, but we won't get that for now, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. Sorry. I think I kind of went off on one there.
You don't need them for the truest ending, though.
Yes.
There's Cake now heading up to Sky's hatchery to pick up the library card, and Nori doing the same. And then in a moment, you'll see them both head down to do a save.
Yeah, it's the only mandatory save that they have to do. The guard at the end of the town will not let either runner past until they have both a library card and a save in position. So, way forward, being cautious and making sure that we're safe on our journey, at least to start with. After that, it's anything goes.
Yeah, as they're going through Scarecrow Fields, and Cake getting a monster milk off the very first Scarecrow. That'll be what he wants to see. Yeah,
but RNG favouring Cake a bit there early doors. Running into these Scarecrows is something doesn't have to be done, but they've got a chance of dropping a fair few items. Monster Milk is definitely one of the ones they'd like to see, as well as a Super Pipe Ball to hopefully save them a few gems early game.
Yeah, and Cake's still up to 43 gems compared to Nori's 30, so Nori will not be happy with that, and if he is going for the 2 shopping routes, I'll have to go collect the ones under the forest to catch up.
More than likely, Cake doing his little bit in the sewers. You'll notice what he's been doing is getting to a point where he can bounce between the snake and the ceiling. This is to actually duplicate deaths on him. For some reason, with each hit within that short span does about 3 hits overall. The snake dies in 1, but because each of those hits actually represents a 50-50 shot of getting the flesh pop, and they need 3 to actually progress this section through, there's a chance of getting potentially 6 from just the 2 snakes. Unfortunately, Nori did get trolled there, so a bit of bad luck there, having to go out his way a bit just to get that last flesh pop in, but he's now all set and ready to go.
Yeah, thankfully he only had to kill a couple of extra snakes to get it. I've seen someone have to go pretty much the entire other side of the dungeon to get their final flesh pop.
It's a painful feeling, I can assure you.
There's Cake now on his way to go pick up the Forbidden Isles map, which will let him head on out to the next island. As neither runner picked up a pike ball, I don't believe. You won't see them kill the orcs on their way back through, as with just your charge damage you can't kill them. So you need a pike ball to be able to do that. So they're going to have to all wait, and they're going to have to skip over them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's mainly to try and get a couple more gems or potential item drops to be able to help them out on their journey. But it's not the biggest mishap for our runners, but it's something they would like to have. But they'll still be making their way backwards, going through the scarecrows once again, hoping for some of those luxurious drops to help them out with their early game.
Yeah, Cake picking up a pike ball on his way through. There's Nori now entering the forest, and we'll see if he decides to get the gems. No, he's running past. So I think he's probably going to be reverting back to the normal shopping strategy.
More than likely, it looks like.
Yeah, coming up 10 gems short.
Yeah, CakeSauc3 opted in for the traditional opening shop of 3 flares and a super pipe ball. Flares are used throughout the run in general. It enables them to return back to the pirate ship when they're done with what they need to do on the island, saves them backtracking on forward. The super pipe ball is actually going to be for a boss a little later on in the run, so just getting that item in ready to guarantee that they've got what they need for that fight. I believe Nori took the same shot due to being a little low on his gems, going for the alternate 2-shot route. But both runners set as they go through, or as they make their way into Saliva Island, or make their way through Saliva Island, depends on which runner you're watching. A lot of aquatic life here, mermaids and crabs and such, but my aim is to find these 2 ladies, Twitch and Vinegar, who are a bit disappointed the water's not out and about, can't go for a little swim, but we have some nice piece of ham here at least, so at least there's food.
Yeah, definitely, but yeah, we don't care about the actual taste of it, we just care about the smell, so we grab that and head on up to see the Gigalumix here. And on Cake's side, you just see him pausing and unpausing 3 times in rapid succession there. What that does is somehow magically skips an animation on the Gigalumix, blink animation, which will save you a few seconds.
There's another bit of time so that they could get there, going for a cut off of the side of the scenery whilst activating the chat with the Gigalumix, which saves another 4 seconds, just eliminating the animation of the hamstink going up his nose. Well, travelling to his nose, sorry.
Yeah, Nori attempted it, but unfortunately was a bit late on his button press, so he just fell off the edge.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. Got the water's back on, so the ladies can have a little swim. You, I guess. If only they knew.
And now Cake hands over the Petrify spell to this bloke here, who tries to use it to unpetrify his wife. Unfortunately, that's not how spells work, and he gets petrified. But thankfully that opens the entrance to our first dungeon.
In a way, he's at least reunited with his wife. Not in the way he would have liked.
Yeah, as we enter Spittle Maze, and we exit Spittle Maze into this optional dungeon here. Do you want to explain why they're here, Turkey?
Yes, this little area is actually a replica of sorts to the first lab of the original GBC, Shantae. Their main purpose being here is they're going to collect a couple of keys. Primarily because keys are not mandatory to any individual dungeon. They can be stacked and used at any key door that is in this game. So getting these keys early saves them more time later on in a run by being able to skip roughly 2/3 of a later lab. So definite advantage there. Plus there are a good, healthy amount of gems down here which they'll want to collect as well to get themselves set up and ready for their next shopping list.
Yep, definitely. As Cake picking up his second key as Nori's just about to pick up his first. And you'll see Cake here take an intentional death which will warp him back to the start of the dungeon so he can exit and go back into Spittle Maze proper. Now, with that monster milk in hand, we'll probably see Cake use it on the upcoming Wetman room here, although he could choose to save it for later, we will see, but I imagine he'll be using it here.
Very possible. Having that advantage of a monster milk when he gets to the Wetman room, you could activate it there to be able to rinse that room a bit quicker, and because of how long a monster milk actually lasts, that will carry forward over to this temple's boss, the Cyclops plant. And he'll be able to use it throughout that fight as well, being able to save even more time.
Yeah, as he gets that, and Nori gets 2 drops in the room with the snakes and the crabmen. Unfortunately, just 2 food items. Not a monster milk he'd have liked.
Yeah, unfortunate, but fortunate at the same time. And he can still use them for time saves or safety aspects, depending on how he feels as he goes through. CakeSauc3 making his way through, and at the Cyclops plant, akin to what they did with the snakes in the sewers earlier for item duplication, they're going to be using that similar methodology here by getting themselves trapped between the ceiling and the eyeball to score major damage with the scimitar, just bouncing off, and it'll just rip through this boss. So mind the pun, but don't blink.
Yeah, Cake unfortunately missing the scimitar bounce, who just goes for whip strats on the first phase. So losing a little bit of time because of that, but getting a very, very, very nice phase 2. But that might give Nori a little bit of a chance to catch up.
Nicely done.
Nori also just about missing the phase 1, but then recovering fine and getting it anyway. CakeSauc is on his way out as Nori finishes up the boss. So I think they're about 30-ish seconds apart at the moment.
Give or take around and about that marker, I believe, 30 to 35. But there's still plenty of opportunity throughout the run where they can catch back up to CakeSauc as he makes his way over and in to Spiderweb Island. This is a fun little area, home of the Marmite section of the run, which we'll come to in a moment. I'll leave that to you because, reasons.
You just get so emotional when you talk about it, I understand.
Oh no, it hurts. I can't think about it.
So yeah, just picking up the fossil on their way to Run Rotty Tops, which you'll see in a few moments on Cake's screen. You've got to go through a few more screens to get there. But the way Run Rotty Tops work... let me try that again. The way Run Rotty Tops work... still can't do it, I'll have to do. The way it works is that you don't have any health in there, but if you take a hit from any of the enemies or obstacles, you're sent back to the start of the room. It's largely cycle-based, so you're just waiting for things to move out of your way and certain other things. But yeah, so you can't really gain a whole lot of time during the section, but you can definitely lose it.
Yeah, definitely. definitely. As you truly understood why this section is hard to talk about. There's plenty of things that are around about, from grabby hands to licky tongues, some kissy bots a bit later on, and an enemy dubbed the Stevens. Yeah, we'll come to that a little later on. There is a little bit of things they can do here to save a bit of time. Cutting by some tongues and a little bit of manipulation here and there. But unfortunately, for the most part, they've got to follow script. Well, I'll say script, but they've got to follow route, and they've just got to deal with what they've got to deal with and try not to get hit, because that can cost them a lot of time dependent on which room and which enemy can take them down.
Yeah, CakeSauc3 going for the, on the first tongue skip, going for the jump strats for that, which is very fun to see.
Yes, we do need the song. I'm not going to sing it because I will probably blow your eardrums out, but yeah, we need some Old Spice. I agree.
Nori getting through the first tongue room, no problem, and he's going to make it through the second one without issue as well. And actually going to be gaining a little bit of time here on CakeSauc3, because when CakeSauc3 entered the room, Nori's, and now that first spike was down for him, so he had to wait an extra cycle for that. So Nori gains a few seconds there without having to wait for that.
Yeah, it's a small little bit of RNG on which cycles they're on, so to speak. I'm not fully sure exactly how the cycles work, but this is one of them. Yeah, let's work with what they got, really.
Cake now up to the tombstone, so you'll see him jump over some very specific ones here. That's because he knows which ones can come alive, he just doesn't know if they will and when they will, if they're going to. So he just purposely avoids all the ones that could potentially come alive. Both tombstone rooms out of the way, and we are now on to the kissy robots on Cake's side.
No verification of the stake jumps either. It's the quarterfinals. Where's my stake jumps? But no,
probably still in the group stages.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, Cake traversing into one of the longer rooms of the Run on Rotty Tops. It's not very threatening, however, one little slip up towards the end is probably the biggest time loss you could take in Run Rotty Tops. Although I've not fully timed it out, but I would assume it's at least anywhere from 30 to 40 seconds if he gets caught on the final stretch.
Yeah, thankfully the end of that section isn't too difficult, so unlikely to happen, but it is possible. There are times when the game will eat your jump input, for example, and that can throw you off if you're not paying attention 100%. This Cake's now up to the Stevens.
Yeah, so you've got these big Stevens that send some baby Stevens out, and well, I don't really know what else to say about the Stevens. Really, they can be evil sometimes.
Yeah, but they are nice to Cake, as are the Gates of Hell, so he gets through that no problem at all. He's on for a very good time through Run Rotty Top so far.
Yeah, even got the taco jump at the end there for that extra bit of time save. As in now the final room of the section, everything's going to come into play that he's experienced in Run Rotty Tops. Again, a devastating room to take a hit on, especially towards the end. And it is a little more dangerous in this room because there are a couple of things like the tombstones in the final stretch where they could pincer our runners, and that can be cruel sometimes.
Cake just about manages to get through it. He jumped a little high over one of the tombstones, and it came to life whilst he was in midair, but he managed to squeeze in between the tongue and the tombstone, so very, very nicely done.
And he is free! Enjoy your freedom, buddy!
He's free until next run.
But yep, he gets out, he drops Roddy Tops off, just to find out that, yeah, Roddy's a big dirty liar. She never got, well, the story goes that she got bitten by the spider and now her legs don't work. Turns out, nope, she lied. She just couldn't be bothered to walk. So, Run Roddy Tops because of Roddy Tops. Damn it.
Why would it just be called Run Run?
I guess Run Roddy Tops sound better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of does.
There's a Cake now grabbing his shriveled thing, which does indeed still smell. Nothing has changed since the last runs.
And not likely to change ever. Yeah, it's important you know it smells. We can't skip that text box for reasons. There's no real reason why, but yes, one of the only text boxes where we can't actually skip it. So you must know it smells. I'm sure Nori will experience the same.
Yeah, is Cake now heading in to Cackle Tower, and he'll be heading down in a moment to go grab an additional key.
Yeah, this key getting added into their stockpile or to the key usage that they're going to need for the run. They could have got a key a little earlier on, but this key in general is roughly the same time, a little bit faster if you're going to beat a cycle out of the Bat Lady, which is also another reason why they go this way. So the Bat Lady has a good possibility of dropping one of 3 items: a Super Monster Milk, a Super Pipe Ball, or a Pirate Flare. Monster Milk is what they'd like to see, but any drop will prove useful to them.
Cake does get the Monster Milk. As Nori does not have a regular Pipe Ball yet, so he'd be liking to pick one up. He does miss a drop of one of the skeletons, unfortunately, killing it as he's past it, so not being able to pick up that drop. I'm sure Nori will demonstrate the Pirate Flare drop here.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh, Nori getting a regular Pipe Ball and a Super Pipe Ball off the skeletons there, so that regular Pipe Ball will help him kill this Bat Gal, and yeah, that Super Pipe Ball drop is very nice.
Oh, use the lobster tail. Must have just been mistaken in this position of the menu. Either that or it just moved randomly, because I've had that happen to me before, where I knew I didn't move it and it moved itself. Unfortunately, got nothing from the Bat Lady, so getting a bit of a troll there. Fortunately, the skeletons did give him a Super Pipe Ball, so he's at least got a major drop out of the area.
Yeah, you used a lobster tail in the bonus dungeon for an animation skip on one of the keys, so he must have still had those selected and thought he had a Pipe Ball selected still.
Ah, okay.
It's Cake now fighting off against Emperor Spider. Do you want to explain how to do this fight well, Turkey?
Yeah, the fastest method involves having a game of chicken with the spider, and Cake is probably going to be doing it. What you'll be seeing here, he's going to be staying in the hitbox for as much of the fight as he humanly can, letting the Pipe Ball do a lot of the work. But by whipping just before he takes damage, he can cause a stun lock in the air rather than a knockback. And for reasons unknown, it actually replenishes your cannon strikes as well, so you can just stay in that hitbox and stay up there with it throughout the fight, as Cake just did basically flawlessly there. But as you notice, he's left with only 1 point of health, so it's a very risky strat to go for. But fortunately, they've still got that auto potion, so there is the safety there just in case, but they wouldn't want to lose that at this point of the run, especially in a tournament setting.
Yeah, that was very, very nicely done by Cake. Nori having a little bit of trouble, but still getting a very nice fight here, managing to stun Emperor Spider down for a bit, so getting a lot of free damage off, and he shouldn't have any trouble finishing her off. And there we go, Emperor Spider down on Nori's side as Cake is entering 10-line Temple here. First visit will be a very short one.
Yep, just going to be running into an old friend, the Squid Baron, who's he came here for a holiday. Unfortunately, nothing's going on, so he'll give up his X-ray specs. So then his brothers could begin a bit of a side quest to collect to find these 3 passcodes from the sarcophagi around the worlds. These 3 will then eventually give them a passcode to enter the next temple, the 10-line temple.
Yeah, and the opening the cactus in the first screen of Tanline, they'll be wanting either a Monster Milk drop or a Bubble Shield drop. Unfortunately, Cake only getting a Meat Chunklet, which still better than nothing, but yeah, definitely not the preferred drop there.
Yeah, I mean, any drop given to you can prove useful in areas, but there are certain ones that you truly want that will save you the meat of the time, as well as give you the additional security for the run. Tanline Island in particular is one of the main islands, and this section of the run in particular is one of the main islands where they're going to want to get the majority, if not all of their RNG dropped from all the certain enemies, so they'll be set up for the entirety of the run. If, unfortunately, they do get messed over, there are backup methods that they could take. They know where certain gem sections are, which they can grind out for to get certain get the count up to get the remaining items. But we'll see how RNG fares first. And I did notice Nori opted to go for a Scorp Gal, and it paid off, getting himself a Super Monster Milk out of it. Nice.
Yeah, and important to note is Cake accidentally missed the 30 gems there on Saliva Island. He tried to use his lamp too close to the loading zone and it dragged him in. So unfortunately losing out on 30 gems there.
Yeah, that is a bit of an unfortunate, especially if he's going to consider taking the two-shop route. Because that two-shopping route, he'd go for all his flares at this next shop, and then pick up any additional ends that he wants to cover, maybe potions for animation skips, or maybe a bubble shield to be extra safe on that RNG element. But having the extra gems would have helped him get a few more items there.
Thankfully, Nori remembering that he does need to do a shop here and doesn't need to do it afterwards, so going to Saliva Island first just to pick up those extra gems. So Cake just buys the 3 Pirate Flares and a Super Monster Milk, so he will have to shop again.
Yeah, taking the more traditional route in the shopping, it's a free shop route rather than 2, but it gives them that extra Super Monster Milk for added security, and a bit of an elimination of RNG drops is now covered for him. I believe his item management is relatively okay at this point. I mean, he's going to need a few more drops to sort him out for the remainder of the run, though, I believe.
He got nothing on his cactuses on the way back through, but he'll be hoping to pick up a Super Pipe Ball here, as he gets the dreaded bird code.
Now, surely you've heard. Everyone knows that the bird is the word. I'm not going to sing it, don't worry.
Cake gets nothing but regular pipe balls on his way through the skeletons. He needs a super pipe ball ideally. He doesn't have any that I can remember him getting thus far. We got one now on his way back through.
Nice. I mean, he does have the Super Monster Milk from the Bat Lady, though, so he's at least got one strong item for the next boss, so he'd have had that extra security if that drop didn't... Well, he would have been fine if he didn't have that drop, sorry, but thankfully he does, so that's at least one other major item out of the way for him, which he'll definitely be happy to see.
Cactuses blocking Nori as well. So that'll be disappointing for both of them, so that means they both need to find a bubble shield from somewhere, which will probably be the shop, as Nori also gets blanked by the skeletons.
There are still more cacti in the temple after this, coming up with CakeSauc3 and Metal Gear Shantae. So there will be other chances for bubble shields, but yes, just a quickly brief on it. Metal Gear Shantae is a stealth element, hence by the name. I keep saying that for some reason. This one's a bit more risky compared to something like Rum Rum Rotty Tops. If they get caught, they won't be sent to the beginning of the room. They'll be sent back to the beginning of the entire section. So getting caught in here can cost some major, major time, and something they certainly don't want to see happen.
Yep, Nori managing to get 2 super pipe balls on his way back through the skeletons. That brings him up to 3 total now, which should be good for the rest of the run, combined with regular pipe balls, assuming he gets all the milks he needs.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's at least got 1 Super Monster Milk. I didn't see what he bought from the shop, though, so he may have already picked up another one if he's going to consider that shop route, unless he is going for the 2-shop route. I'm not sure.
Given his gem count, I think he just bought flares. Yeah, I didn't see that, as Cake makes quick work of the temple there. Not getting caught at all, so very nice for him, and he's on fantastic pace.
Yeah, definitely went for the fast strats in the final room. Again, risky to do. I mean, getting caught by, especially that last guard at the end, trying to hop over him, is a good minute to a minute and 5 seconds off the run, and that would have brought the run back to equal pace. But so far, he's on a very solid pace, possibly a sub 51 at this point.
That's the power of the birds for you.
Spiritual energy from the passcode. Oh dear.
Nori deciding to pick up 30 gems there above the key, not going for the full 60. Nori making his way through the final guard room. Is he going to jump over the last one? He does, and he gets it without issue.
Nice. Very finely done by both runners getting through Tanline Temple. Very impressive so far. Yeah, I forgot to quickly touch up as well with this temple. We mentioned earlier about the stockpiling keys that they got early on. This is the temple that came to play. They only got 1 key in here, but they needed the 3 keys to allow the other 3 heroines out of their cells. So because of stockpiling the keys, this is the temple where 2/3 gets eliminated, saving you any more risk of potentially getting caught by a guard and being sent straight back to the beginning, which could be heart-wrenching, especially if you have to traverse any more of this temple than you need to.
Yeah, that definitely lose you a lot of time as Cake choosing to skip all of the extra Scorp girls outside of the dungeon. He might go for an additional one inside, but we will see what he decides to do. Nori finishes up Tanline Temple and will soon be rewarded with his golden pickaxe. Cake just going straight down, ignoring that last extra Scorp gal and the key with it. Does get a monster milk off one of the cactuses, so he'll be happy to see that. He's going out of his way to kill the cactuses as well. He wants that bubble shield, I imagine, or just more milks, because he is on 2 milks at the moment. And gets blanked in the final room by the cactuses there, so he'll be hoping for a monster milk off one of these 2 Scorp gals. And they both blank him as well.
Oh. Mid-RNG not favouring Cake, unfortunately, but he has gone with the 3-shot route, so he can still take up the backup means to be able to pick up what he needs. It is unfortunate he will have to suffer a bit of time loss for gem grinding as such, but he knows how to handle the game, so we'll see how he handles it. I mean, he gets the 1-room crusher impressively as well.
He did buy that extra super milk earlier, so he is only 1 milk short for the rest of the run, so he should be able to get that on his next run through, but I believe that is his only super pipe ball he's using.
I believe so too. And Nori forgo in the key as well, but I believe he's pretty much set item-wise short of a bubble. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't get a bubble, does get an extra milk though. And one of the Scorp girls dropped another milk for him, so that's very nice. And the other one dropped another pipe before him, so he's definitely got 4 super pikes, and I believe he has 2 super milks.
I think he's got 3 super milks as well, so he's got near spot on of the major items. I mean, getting all 4 super pipe balls, and if he had all 4 super monster milks as well, that would be the best setup he could ever wish for. But only being 1 short, you won't cry over that for certain.
Yeah, and he should have enough gems to buy a super monster milk. He has 2 super milks and 5 super pipe balls, sorry.
5? Ooh. Damn. That's a lot of super pipe balls. Yeah, also, as I may as well touch upon it now quickly, the Squid Baron fight is a scripted fight, so we know what attacks he's going to do and in which order. Ideally, they want to defeat the Squid Baron before he reaches his eating phase. That's primarily so they can set up phase 2 to begin with the eating phase. Depends on where phase 1 ends, they can manipulate Squid Baron into the eating phase to begin phase 2, and because of damage per second versus his healing factor, they'll be able to do more damage to Squid Baron rather than Squid Baron's healing. Unfortunately, Nori did not get past the eating phase, unfortunately, so he's going to have to work with a slightly different script, but he's going to be familiar with what that is, so he'll be able to handle it surely, no problems.
Yeah, just using regular milk and super pipe balls here means it can be a bit touch and go, and he did take a hit in the first phase, but expertly takes down Squid Baron in the second phase as Cake is on his way to Mudbog Island after picking up the Death Mask.
Yes, Mudbog Island, a casual nightmare. For this, pretty much just want to keep their string of speed boosting going throughout it. There are a couple of low ceilings around, so this is a memorization type of section, just knowing what to use at what points to be able to get through. Cake showing exactly how it's done.
Get through that section, no trouble at all. And it will now be handing over the Death Mask he picked up from Bolo, as Nori's about to head off and pick his up. Yeah, Cake back then to the Village of Lost Souls. We'll be collecting 3 coins.
Oh yay, the fun of the 3 coins. These coins are a setup for a mini game that they get to play. It's a fun little one, simply known as Heads and Tails. So, yeah, as simple as it sounds. Unfortunately, again, this is an RNG section. When they get the coins and get to the gamers, and they'll have to select either heads or tails, of course. You generally start off on heads, so most runners would usually pick heads. Some may switch just because they just fear that they're going to get trolled, but it's up to the gamers how long it's going to take. Fortunately, there is a safeguard that is in place, so if the gamers do troll them 3 times, then the fourth game will be a guaranteed victory. So at least they won't be stuck there forever.
Yeah, although Cake nearly gets stuck there forever by the ghost, gets cornered as he goes to pick up the extra gems and takes 2 hits of damage there, so takes a full heart of damage from the ghost. And he did just use all of his food out of animation skip, so has to be careful on his way back through if he doesn't want to lose his auto potion.
Yeah, for sure, Nori making it through Mud Bog, no problem, as well as he'll be making his trip to get the 3 coins. And I'll see how our gamers play. I'm gonna guess they're both gonna get average gamers. I'm gonna be nice. A nice balanced playing field.
Yeah, Cake doing really well to dodge the ghost there, sort of managing to sort of weave between them somehow.
Nice.
Cake having probably about an average gamers there. Never getting to the red gamer except on the last try, but I think only got to the green gamer once, so not ideal, but not the worst you can get either.
Yeah, looked like a 7 attempt gamers. So yeah, that's probably about average. 6 or 7 is not too bad. Of course, 3 is better, but unfortunately, RNG will have its day.
As Nori picks up his final coin, Cake gets his manly musk on, which will let him enter the next dungeon of the game, the Oubliette of Suffering.
Yeah, the Oubliette of Suffering is where they would traditionally pick up the risky boots, which they've been manipulating through the game with the trick known as the risky shuffle, by holding left on the D-pad and tapping right on the analytic, or vice versa. It causes Shantae to do a shuffle motion, but it still continuously boosts charge, so they can cause the charges in much shorter spaces. Because of this trick, they're going to outright obliterate this dungeon, skipping a good 80 to 90% of what you could very well face in here. Just skip right through to the boss.
Yeah, as Cake picking up the full health pickup there from that pot. Not necessary, really, because you're unlikely to take any more damage, but better to be safe than sorry.
Fortunately for Nori, Red Gamer gave him a troll. But I believe it was an 8 gamer, so again, not terrible, but could have been better. That one troll would have been unfortunate there for him.
Yes, Cake's still starting the fight against Dagron here, so interesting to see what items he decides to use here, which will dictate how he just uses a regular pipe ball, no milk.
Oh.
So this will be a long Dagron fight. So what's 5, 6 cycle?
I believe it's about 7, but I'm not sure if 6 is possible. I mean, it's been a while since I've done a pipe ball only fight, but I'm pretty sure it's around the 7 mark, 6 or 7.
He's doing well so far on his 4th cycle there.
I mean, this would be a good point for Nori to be able to pull some time back as well. I mean, I know his item management is basically set, and he'll be able to use some strong buffs going into Dagron if he so chooses so he'll be able to get Dagron down in a much quicker fight. But even with the short of items, CakeSauc3, no problems taking down Dagron. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think that was just a 7 cycle, only a few bits off a 6 it looked like, but I could be counting wrong. So maybe a 6 is possible if he got better damage on the ascends. But hopefully something I don't have to do anytime soon. So Nori going Super Pipe Ball, Super Milk, so this should be a fairly easy 2-cycle for him. Although misses Dagwan as he swoops short. We're not getting the 2-cycle, not getting enough ascent damage, and missing Dagwan again as he goes short, but one more whack to the face when Dagwan's down, so Nori definitely gaining a lot of time there just due to his items.
Yeah, you may notice when Cake defeated Dagran, he didn't flare out straight away. That's pretty much because the Village of Lost Souls is considered indoors. Flares cannot be used indoors, which is a bit of a shame, but well, it is what it is. Now CakeSauc3 going to be going through Frostbite Island. Pretty straightforward. Keep up in the air, try and avoid everything, unless he wants to go for some items, potentially from the wolves. They're very stingy with them, but they can drop Super Moss Milks and Super Pipe Balls. Yeah,
he's choosing to skip all the wolves, so clearly he doesn't need them that badly. Just trying to think, he has about 68 gems currently to play with, and he does need a bubble shield, so that brings that down to 43. So 40 gems, that's one Super Pipe Ball he can buy on his shop.
Yeah, I'd probably say he might consider that as well, if I remember his item management rightly. I think he may have a Super Milk and a regular milk.
He definitely doesn't have a Super Pike.
No, he unfortunately only got one drop of that during his run so far. I know Nori won't be opting to take on the wolves. At least I'd be surprised if he does, because he's pretty much set, unless he wants to take a chance of getting one more of those stronger buffs.
He'll probably end up getting another 3 Super Pipe Balls, knowing his luck. Just absolutely nothing to do with him. He already has one more than he needs, so definitely would not want to see another one of those. Yeah, he's choosing to skip them as well.
Fair enough with CakeSauc3 going through Propeller Town. As you would have seen, you'd be able to use stuff like the hat and the cannon and the risky boots in conjunction with one another to be able to flow through this area pretty smoothly. So it's a great example of how the pirate equipment truly do mesh together through a run.
Yeah, and thanks to the risky shuffle, it allows us to do the charge in places it's not originally intended to do, so makes it even quicker than what was intended at this point. Cake making his way very quickly through Palatown and still on a good pace here. Sub 43 Bolo is decent pace as Nori decides to land on one of the spike blocks, showing off that whilst you are charging, you are invulnerable.
Yeah, CakeSauc3 picking up that targeting module moments ago. Also not forgetting to worship the Bolo because Bolo deserves it. We're hoping for Bolo's sake that he's been able to tinker with that module to what he's supposed to be doing. I've got a bad feeling about it, to be honest, but I don't know, Bolo may surprise us.
Cake now heading over to visit Abner and Rotty Tots to start the final fetch quest of the run. So he has to go hand in the soul he picked up after doing the Oubliette of Suffering.
Because it's well known, zombies know a lot about souls. The dead know the dead. Which is quite thankful, because it's the soul of Joe with a very stylish moustache.
And also picks up a pirate flare by handing him the death mask, which he will then immediately use, to head back to Scuttletown, where you'll see him do his shop here, as he doesn't have any more pirate flares, he'll be doing it on his way out.
Nori getting through Frostbite and Propeller Town, no problems as well. Very impressively done. I have noticed he has collected a couple of gems on route, so I believe he is going back for a shop to be on the safe side. I'm not sure if he did get a bubble shield or not during his run, but that's possibly the main reason why he's considering that. Probably going to grab another strong buff just to fully max out his arsenal.
Yeah, as Cake gets, as we expected, buys 2 pirate flares, a super pipe ball, and a bubble shield.
Yeah, that should at least set him up with the bare minimum of what he's going to require to finish this run off.
Nori will probably buy a Super Monster Milk, a 2 Pirate Flares, a Bubble Shield, and maybe 3 potions? Or maybe another Bubble Shield. I'm going to go 3 potions.
We shall see.
As Cake gets a perfect lineup there for you.
Wait, he didn't move? He usually runs away. He got no buster. Yes. Go on, Cake. Sorry. Me happy now. Hopefully Nori will get it too. I hope. Double not buster hype.
Nori not purchasing potions there, so not quite realising that he can. He would have the money for them, but not a huge time save. It would probably be about 9-ish seconds, 8 to 9 seconds he would have saved if he did pick those up.
As it turned out, the module was kind of messed up. It was supposed to destroy the Royal Palace that was back on Scuttletown. Kind of hopped a few islands, and yeah, Techno Baron got knocked flying, and Cake will now make his way to his final den of evil, the Forgotten Factory.
The abandoned factory, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, for some reason I call it the Forgotten Factory as well. It seems to be a better name for it.
It's alright. I don't even know the bosses' names. I usually get them cross-referenced with all the games, so yeah.
So Cake grabs one of 3 keys he'll need to collect here. If they had chosen to get an additional one in the catacombs, they would be skipping the one that he's about to go up and grab now. But as both players did forego that key, they'll be grabbing all 3 in this dungeon. By collecting the key from below, he saves a little bit of time, just falls down while waiting. So saves the smallest amount of time doing that.
Mm-hmm. Every little helps, as they say. Aha! Oh, I hate myself.
So Cake messes up a dash on one of the blocks there, so that will put the ice block timing slightly off for him. So he has to be careful, but he does not get trolled by the ice block, so that was very nice for him.
So that will put him in position and ready to take on RNG the boss. Steel Maggot time. With this fight, as you'll notice, Steel Maggot has 3 buttons on his back. And the idea is to hit them in a particular order to expose his tail so they can start dealing damage. What's the passcode? Jeez, I don't know. It's literally RNG as it gets. It'll be a different code within each cycle, as well as within each new game that you play of this. So they'll have to spend a bit of time to figure out the code and get through it. Fortunately, all Steel Maggot really does is go back and forth a little bit. You get a wrong button, as you see, he shoots off those bullets, which does a good heart of damage, so you don't want to take too much from him. And then, yeah, just get it open and take him down.
Yeah, that should be a 2 cycle from Cake. Taking it a bit risky there by choosing to tank that damage, and there was one point during the first phase where he did come close to losing his auto potion, but very, very well handled by him.
Nice. So with that down and where his current time is, I believe he's on a sub 52 pace, probably around the high 51s.
Oh yeah, somewhere around there maybe. Yeah.
So
maybe.
he's on a very, very, very good pace. Nice run from him so far as Nori goes on with the Steel Maggots, hoping his RNG plays fair as well.
Yeah, and Nori using both a Super Fireball and a Super Monster Milk.
Well, that first phase. Nice.
It's a very nice fight from Nori. And thankfully gets stuck between the ceiling and the tail there, so manages to do a very, very quick phase 2. So that was a really, really nice Steel Maggot. Nori gaining a lot of time there. About a minute difference, maybe slightly less than a minute between them at the moment.
Yeah, I'd probably say about a minute. So I think Nori is on a sub 53 pace, similar grounds, mid to high 52. So both runners putting on quite the show tonight.
Yeah, and considering the RNG Nori had early on, this has been a really, really good run by him.
been a very good run by both of them, and both having different RNG throughout it, but both knowing how to adapt and how to work with what they're given at what given time. So it just shows the skill and the knowledge of both of our runners here today so far. I say so far, but we're coming up to the end with CakeSauc3 making his stretch to the tower, and we'll be executing a tower climb, hopefully getting through it without no issues.
Nori wakes up the Pirate Master as Cake enters the Pirate Master's Palace, as it is called now, as the Pirate Master has taken over. And yeah, as Turkey alluded to, we're doing a climb here. So normally what you'd have to do is go into these side doors you see there and do what are called the Pirate Master Trials, which are some fairly tricky platforming sections. Thankfully, with a precise hat and cannon timing, which CakeSauc3 unfortunately not quite getting, losing a bit of time here. You can skip these sections, but Cake having real trouble with it at the moment. Gets the first one down. This is giving Nori a chance to catch up.
Nori making his stretch to the tower as well. This could end up very close, so we'll see how it goes.
That's 2 down from Cake. 1 more to go.
Oh, Nori had a bit of an issue going up and over there, but manages to recover and get his boost back and go.
Yeah, as Cake gets the 3rd one on his first try, so he should be good. On for a low to mid 52 pace now after that unfortunate climb. As Nori's doing the climb at no issue at all. Important to note that Cake is using a regular milk here, does not have a super milk, but otherwise is good.
Yeah, he's still got that auto potion as well, so he should be able to handle it without too much hassle. We'll see how it goes. Go.
Very, very nice RNG from Pirate Master here, making up for that climb. Thought teleport patterns like that were just things of legend.
Yeah, once in a blue moon.
There goes Cake's auto potion. Yeah, I believe he fell once, but he's now on to Pirate Master. As Cake just gets Pirate Master down just before the lasers get him, which would have killed him. So very...
Yeah, that is GG CakeSauc3. Congratulations, he'll be making his way to the semi-finals.
So yeah, Cake finishing with 52 minutes and 28 seconds, and Nori almost done with Pirate Master here. We'll wait for him to finish up. And there we go. GG Cake, congratulations on that run and yeah, making the semi-finals. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. That was really close, I guess.
Yeah, that was really close.
About 40 seconds apart. A very impressive performance from both of you.
Oh, dang. Yeah. A bit of a scrappy run, I guess. I missed picking up 30 gems there back on Saliva Island, which made me kind of lose, I guess, the initial plan that I had. I wasn't able to recover as well as I wanted, so I had to use just a Pike Ball and Dagron. But it was...
Yeah,
it was okay.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. I don't think RNG was too favourable either to you overall for the run, but as we mentioned during the race, as a very experienced with the run, you know how to handle the backup should that happen. So pulled it together and pulled off a very nice run there.
Yeah, I just a little disappointed with the fact that I messed up the climb as badly as I did too. I should have been a lot faster there, but I think everything else I did pretty well.
I'm joined by Nori.
Yeah.
GG Nori. That was a decent run despite the RNG at the start, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that start at all.
Oh, what happened?
Oh my god. It was not a whole lot of nothing, Cake. A whole lot of nothing. Like the first snake I killed didn't do anything. he didn't drop a single thing. The second one did drop me 2, but I had to go farm out another flesh pop in the beginning. And it was a lot of klutzy movement, too. Just really bad platforming in the very opening section as well. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a thing.
I always tend to panic when I don't get flesh pops on that first screen, so I know the feeling. That's a rough one. Did you get anything to go your way after that?
Sorta. Like the scarecrows gave me nada. I didn't have gems to set up the 2 shop route either, so I had to adjust back to a 3 shop route on the run. And I didn't really start to get any drops until the first Scorp gal that I normally don't kill. She finally dropped me a super monster milk because the cactuses didn't give me anything either. And finally started to get the super pike balls during Tan Line and the charge for Branson's sword. So RNG was not my friend for a good first half of the run, and then it finally started to give me what I needed, and only had to buy 1 extra super monster milk. Well, I bought an extra super pike ball, and then of course the game gave me 1 extra that I didn't need. So
that always happens.
Yeah.
It's always the way, but no, RNG, from what I can make out, at least in the mid game, played pretty well for you. Yeah, you basically had that extra score gal, but obviously taking a safety considering the early points. You had a pretty solid run, solid climb at the end as well. From was it 1 drop, I think?
Yeah, I missed 1. I was in my practice run this morning that I didn't miss any. So it's an improvement over every climb that I've done throughout the entire tournament, because I think I've always had at least 3 drops. So only 1. I'm happy with only missing that 1.
That's funny, because I think this might have been my worst climb of the tournament.
No wonder it ended up close then. I felt way behind the entire time, and I was just like, okay, at this moment, he's going to hit done, and you didn't, and I'm running into the Pirate Master, and you still didn't, and then just as the fight started, that's when you done. I'm like, darn. So I'm going to have to watch this one back, because I think it was a really close race then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure throughout it, I don't think there was any more than a minute between you. I think it was always just that marker somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute throughout the entire course of that run. GG to both of you on that. As well as that, I believe that 53.06, 53.07 was your best time in this tournament. Unfortunately, going to be dropping out at this phase. Your thoughts so far with your time and experience in this, as well as, of course, the one that made it be a reality as well, of course.
It's been a lot of fun, and I'm still looking forward to how this all plays out. So even though I won't be playing, I'm going to shift my focus towards SGDQ prep, in my race against Tina there, to get a little redemption after she beat me in the tournament earlier, just so I was helping her out. But it's been really fun. I'm glad to see the community come together the way that it has, and the improvement overall of everyone. Just seeing the competitiveness kind of resurge in this game that not many people ran. It's been a blast, and I wish Cake all the luck moving into the semifinals. I know you got your hands full with Majati, but cheering you on, bud.
Yeah, Majati's a tough one. What do you think, Majati?
Yeah, I'm not that tough.
Oh, the war has begun.
What did you think about my Tanline Temple puzzle luck there, Turkey? Don't know if you noticed.
Yes, bird was the word. You had the spirit of the bird with you through that, it seemed.
It seems like no matter what I do with Shantae games, I can't get away from frickin' birds.
Well,
but there's a Majati in my way, so we'll see.
We may cross paths at some point.
This is going to be a fun match to prepare for. It's going to be a best of 3, I take it, and Majati's PB is now about a half minute faster than mine. I've got to try to improve a bit and then get my consistency up there.
I need to do the same.
Yeah, you can take the week off. That's fine.
Yeah, with that being said, semi-finals now set. As mentioned, it is going to be a best of 3 series. Matches will still be, obviously, of course, we're waiting to book. In one half, I've got myself against 17 Bird. So we've got Battle of the Poultry on one end, and on the other, as we found out, just CakeSauc versus Majati. So this is going to be a close end, really. This is going to be tough all round. So
yeah, I feel like either match can go any way. I feel like Bird can beat you, Turkey. You've got the edge, but Bird can beat you. And I think
any of you could beat me, to be fair.
I think
no one believes me when I say that.
This is going to be a scary and possibly unpredictable semifinals and finals, so I'm really excited.
Oh, definitely. I'm looking forward to it all the way. And if you like what you saw here, please be sure to follow our runners, both putting on a great show. Very, very experienced runners in general, as well as within the series. And of course, follow my co-host, Mijati, as well. Another phenomenal runner who's going to be jumping in the semi-finals. So, yay!
Yeah, make sure you give Turkey a follow too, the current world record holder. Although, who knows for how long at this rate.
Probably not for long, and I'll be the first one jumping up and congratulating them, because I like to see that kind of progress. Yeah, any final words from anyone?
Just good luck to everybody as we go into the semifinals, and thanks again, Nori, for putting all this together. You're a boss.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Appreciate it. And also thank you, Speed Gaming, for everything you've done for this tournament, broadcasting every race so far throughout here. We're looking forward to finishing out very strong, but without you guys, we wouldn't have been as successful as we have been. So greatly appreciated, Speed Gaming and Fiesel.
Yeah, definitely. With that, then we'll leave you be, and hope you enjoyed yourselves. Be sure to keep on top of the schedule, as our next set of matchups will be scheduled at some point during the week. So we will be back soon. So take care, everybody.